Whew, things are about to get a little bit spicy, baby. So apparently, James Gunn's Superman is so terrible, it may very well set the comic book movie genre back at least a decade. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Another DC stinker. I got to tell you guys how I feel about this news, but before I do so, I would like to say something. Do not shoot the messenger. I understand there's a lot of mutant monkeys out there, and they like to accuse your boy of fabricating stories, making up the news. However, they have a problem with what the news actually is and not exactly what I'm talking about. So if you guys have a problem with what I'm reporting today, understand you need to take it up with the author. Now look, before I get started, do your boy three major favors. Please hit that subscribe button. Then after you hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit the notification bell, because YouTube absolutely sucks at notifying subscribers that content creators has uploaded videos to their platform. Hitting that notification bell certainly helps. And don't forget to hit that like button to help me out with that algorithm, baby. Now let's get into today's news. This article is coming from comicbookmovie.com. If you're familiar with the 4KO, you would know that this is my preferred site to get my news from. So shout out to them for continuing to bring the noise. It is titled, Superman First Review Calls DCU Reboot, quote, superficial and silly and bemoans terrible, overstuffed movie, unquote. Ooh, this title went in on James Gunn's Superman. Superficial, silly, bemoans terrible, overstuffed. Wait a minute. Wait one goddamn minute. Isn't that what I was concerned about regarding this film the whole damn time? Didn't I tell y'all that this film was going to be all of the above? I'm a prophet. I'm a prophet. Let's go. All right. The review embargo for Superman lifts next week. However, the Daily Beast inadvertently published its verdict last night, and while the site took it down pretty fast, it was up long enough to cause quite a stir amongst fans on social media. Yeah, this thing took flame, like straight up, like gasoline to fire, just woof. I was laying down, next thing you know, my phone went to ringing, and I got this story. I said, ooh, they are going in on James Gunn's Superman, and I was not surprised. I was not surprised about this news. Let's continue. We won't name and shame the critic, as the review's publication isn't their fault. However, they are well respected and have a history of writing for publications including Variety and Esquire magazine. They are also no superhero hater, as the critic in question has positively reviewed the likes of, get this, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and Thunderbolts. That's right. So this guy has given James Gunn's last film that was released in the movie theaters a positive review. And I have to point that out because I know a lot of those mutant monkeys, they'll totally look over this paragraph and they'll say, listen, this is a Snyder bro, a Snyder fan, Snyder cultist, a DC hater, or not even supportive of Superman. So before you go that route, understand that this man has already given James Gunn a positive review regarding his last movie. I just want to point that out. The review begins by saying that the reboot resembles a Saturday morning cartoon that's overstuffed. It promises plenty of action, but adds that the film is so awash in over-the-top CGI insanity that its slam-bang mayhem loses its punch. The cast also doesn't receive much in the way of praise, while the review points out that David Cornsweet looks the part. Check this out. Compared to Christopher Reeve and Henry Cavill, quote, he comes across as relatively slight, a situation exacerbated by the all-over-the-place nature of his saga, unquote. So that must be the episodic storytelling that James Gunn wanted for this movie, right? You know, the montage that I told everybody was going to help ruin this film. I know what I was talking about. Let's continue. Most troubling is the comparison to Joss Whedon's Justice League. As Superman overpopulates itself with heroes and villains, it has neither the time nor inclination to develop. Consequently, everyone and everything is two-dimensional, no matter that the director's imaginary is sharp and vibrant. And to top it off, the headline is terrible new Superman is final nail in superhero cinema coffin. So this thing could very well kill off the superhero movie genre. It is all neck and no shoulders. Now let me give you my 2 cents on this matter. I fucking knew it. The day that I heard that James Gunn was directing a Superman film was the day that I knew that we were going to be getting a Saturday morning cartoon. For the last 2 years, everything that I have said about this film has come true. I said Saturday morning cartoon, right? That's what I said. I said bad CGI, right? Didn't I say that? Overstuffed. Didn't I say that? Wasn't I the one who compared this to Joss Whedon's Justice League? Everything that I was concerned about is happening regarding this film. Why? Because James Gunn is directing it. The director who puts the laugh over the foundation of his story. He brings nothing to the table but laughs, a smile to your face. But his character development has never been there. And I know many people will probably say, well, oh, we know that you loved Saturday morning cartoons. And I did growing up. I still do. I watch Super Friends all of the time. However, I don't want no movie that is structured like that of Super Friends. I'm a realist. I understand that everything is not going to work in cinema. I'm not delusional like some of these fans. A lot of these people don't understand when it comes to film, you have to choose what is best for the audience. Not just because you feel geeks are more important than the actual profitability of a film. Think about that for a second. There's a reason why Superman Returns flopped. It was because it was catering to an audience of the past. Man of Steel came out, right? It catered to an audience of its time. And here it is. We have James Gunn's Superman, a film that seems to try to take you back to the past. And speaking of the past here, wasn't it the silly tone that began the death of DC? Batman and Robin, Batman Forever. Yeah, I love that film, but I can't admit it was for kids because I was a kid when it came out. Superman 3, Superman 4 wasn't the silly approach, was the thing that killed DC in the first place. It is common sense not to go back there. Someone is trying to convince me right now in the comment section that superheroes and comic books are made for kids. And it seems to me that they have the same misunderstanding of the genre as that of DC and Warner Brothers. It has never been made for kids. Hell no. Superheroes are for mature audiences. That's right. It's not G-rated here, man. In fact, you could say a lot of them should be R-rated, especially Batman. But when it comes to Superman, look, this at least has to be PG-13. And I understand that that is the rating for the film, but I am talking about the quality of it. Not no goddamn cartoon, man. And then they have the nerve to release a clip featuring Mr. Terrific and Lois Lane, who is trying to go and pick up his T-ship or his T-Mobile, right? And this thing is straight out of the future. But yet, the garage door is opening slowly. And Lois says, you have this advanced ship, but yet you can't have a quicker garage opener. He says, I'm working on it. It is so cringy. It is so childish. It is so not for me. And you have grown-ass men out there defending this mess. Grown-ass men trying to tell us that we should accept this Superman when we know damn well we're looking at trash, garbage. James Gunn was never going to be capable of giving us a Superman film that will feel right for this generation or this time. He doesn't have the talent. He never has and he never will. These type of heroes are not for him because he totally misunderstands them. Mr. Terrific, that ain't Mr. Terrific. I'm goddamn Mr. Terrific. That ain't Mr. Terrific, bro. That ain't him. This ain't Superman, as I told you before. And that ain't Hawk Girl, and that ain't Guy Gardner. I do not accept any of these characters as the people they're trying to portray, because it's a stark contrast for what we are supposed to be getting and what we are going to be getting next week, which is going to be pretty interesting. And I know a lot of people out there may hate that this news exists, but it is what it is. Saw a few people try to say that this thing was fake. It ain't fake, bro. It is real. It is real. However, those out there who wanted a silly Superman should be happy about this news, right? They should not be at a point of defense. They should be saying to themselves, this is what I want. This is what you asked DC for, and you're going to be getting it. However, you need to understand, if people do not support it, then it was the wrong choice for DC to go in this route, as we told you before. Now, the box office has yet to come in, where we will see next week. But I had to tell you, do not be surprised if this thing come in on the negative end. I'm your boy O. Hopefully you have watched this video all the way to the end to help you boy out that algorithm. And if you're not subscribed, please be sure to do so. Trying to reach that big number of 100,000 subs. So I'll be highly appreciative. You help me cross over that threshold by hitting that subscribe button. Then after you hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit the notification bell, because YouTube absolutely sucks at notifying subscribers that content creators has uploaded videos to their platform. Hitting that notification bell certainly helps. And don't forget to hit that like button to help me out with that algorithm, baby. But in the comments below, let me know, what do you think about this news? Do you feel like it is shocking, or you're like me, you're not surprised at all, because you knew James Gunn was going to give you some trash? And always remember, let the love on roulette. That means let the good times roll. But let me know in the comments below.